What the mainstream media was afraid to tell you about the news this week, while the mainstream media spent their time obsessing over former press secretary Sean Spicer competing on Dancing with the Stars, here are the things that happened that really matter. The so-called ethnic studies bill in the state of California that would have taught your child in public school that capitalism is racist and encouraged your kid to participate in the anti-Semitic BDS movement, that has been delayed by a year, thanks to your backlash. The author of the bill pulled the piece of legislation from consideration, saying problems are there that the people need time to work out. But did the mainstream media report on this? Not the national news networks. But you should give yourself a pat on the back because every one of you who called and emailed and wrote to the California Department of Education made a difference in stopping this atrocious bill. A bombshell new report from a data scientist named Dr. Robert Epstein exposes Google's bias in their search results. According to Dr. Epstein's scientific study, Google's liberal bias in their search results and what content they show users could have shifted between 2.6 and 10.4 million votes in 2016 in favor of Hillary Clinton. Dr. Epstein says if this bias isn't stopped, the big tech company and others could have the power to shift up to 15 million votes in 2020. But did the mainstream media report on this? This is kind of a big deal and a threat to our republic. But nope. The mainstream media barely touched on the story except to report on Hillary Clinton's baseless allegations that Dr. Epstein is not credible, even though he is a Hillary Clinton supporter himself and a well-respected scientist whose work has been published in scientific journals worldwide. Kamala Harris claims she is not comfortable with Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan, and that her Medicare for All plan does not abolish private health insurance, but rather gives patients a choice between a government option or a private plan. But this is not true. First of all, Kamala Harris was a co-sponsor of Bernie's Medicare for All plan just last year. She said she was proud to sponsor his plan, and her plan now does abolish private insurance. It just takes a couple of years longer than Bernie's before 180 million Americans will ultimately lose their current health insurance plans. But did the mainstream media fact-check Kamala Harris's lies? No, they did not. The mainstream media was quiet. Planned Parenthood withdraws from the Title X family planning funding program this week due to the new rules from the Trump administration that prohibits organizations that perform abortions or refer for abortion from getting federal funding, which is a euphemism for your taxpayer dollars. Planned Parenthood claimed President Trump forced them out of Title X, but that is not true. Planned Parenthood voluntarily chose to withdraw and forego the $60 million because they chose abortion over actual health care for women. But did the mainstream media correct the factually untrue narrative from Planned Parenthood about Trump forcing them out of Title X? Nope. The mainstream media played along and acted like Planned Parenthood is the victim. The New York Times 1619 Project is full of historical lies. The project itself is intended, according to the Times, to reframe our nation's history to paint everything exceptional about America as being born from slavery, thereby demonizing America as inherently racist and evil. But the basis on which this argument is built is faulty. The New York Times claims the American Revolution was fought because the American colonies wanted to preserve slavery. But that's simply not true. It was the British governor in Massachusetts who vetoed the state's effort to abolish slavery. And many of the founding fathers said that they hoped the revolution would lead to the abolition of slavery. Thomas Jefferson included in the original draft of the Declaration of Independence a paragraph decrying the evil of slavery that was imposed on the American colonies by the British Crown. But did the mainstream media report on the lies, the revisionist history, the political agenda, the faulty premise that underpins the 1619 Project? Nope. The mainstream media is in the pocket of the left, and the left wants you to believe that all the founding documents were based on the evil of slavery so that the left has justification to get rid of those documents now. The mainstream media doesn't care to report any of that to you, so we will. And that is my final point.